this Jordan Neely situation is proof positive that if you're a law-abiding citizen that stays in a Democratic-ran city, that you will go to jail and you will be persecuted for defending yourself against criminals with lengthy rap sheets, because Daniel Neely had to turn himself in to New York on murder charges. And it's because that he defended himself and other individuals on the train, because that's what the witnesses said, and that's what the video says, and that's what the police officer says. But he's still being charged for murder, even though he tried to revive the individual that he restrained.
You hear me? You got all restrained. My wife is really 2 drugs and then the storm. Another check. A ring. You really got that choke on. Once you defecate, you gotta let him go. Alright? If he didn't, you send his old go, but we'll be alright.
And it was hard enough just to get that clip of the video, and it's because that the mainstream media don't want you to know the facts that is going on. They want to control the narrative. And Jordan Neely was not a saint. Yes, he may have had mental issues, but the issue is, now let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think is the driving force for a crime? Because I know that everyone on the left wants you to believe that it's poverty, but me personally, I think it's because that criminals are not being punished and not given enough deterrent to commit crimes. But the mainstream media wants to say that Jordan Neely was under mental health issues, had some mental challenges, which may be true, but at the same time, the state should have kept him incarcerated, and if they would have, maybe he would still be alive today, because this man actually kidnapped an individual. So, you know, kidnapping is wrong. He kidnapped a kid, and apparently he's on the streets. How is this even possible? But this is happening across the United States, and is mainly in Democratic-ran cities. We see what's going on in Oakland, where every weekend they literally have sideshows, is what they call it. And while they're doing their donuts in the streets, showing off their cars and doing drag races, people who pay taxes are being blocked off from getting to their homes or businesses, and their cars are being vandalized and their businesses are being destroyed.
Check this out. A car just went up in flames in Oakland, while dozens of other cars backed up traffic during a sideshow. Ooh, hard to watch. This happened at about 1 a.m. close to Lake Merritt at 10th and Oak Streets. People were seen lighting fireworks as well. Video shows multiple cars burning. Crews eventually put out the fires as officers cleared the traffic. Cameras captured at least one car that was involved in the sideshow being towed.
Now, if you were impoverished, would you sit there and ram your car into another vehicle that's on fire? It doesn't seem like you're poor. It just seems like you're just out to have fun with destruction. Now I want to take you to Chicago with another crime due to poverty, where 4 young men robbed a police officer when she was off duty and took her life because she wasn't going for it. And the only reason why she lost her life was because they wanted to get money for a barbecue.
Say that community involvement helped them to make arrests and stop a crime spree that victimized women alone before it ended with the fatal shooting of Officer Preston. The offenders are teens: 19-year-old Travell Breland, 19-year-old Joseph Brooks, 18-year-old Jaquan Buchanan, and a 16-year-old male. Police say at least 2 of them shot at Officer Ariana Preston when she was returning home from work at 1:42 a.m. Saturday. Police say the 4 offenders were traveling in a stolen red Kia, and they were looking for people to victimize. They allegedly committed multiple crimes before ambushing Officer Preston.
Her last arrest that evening, even the arrestee, once finding out the news of what had happened, she wept. But that speaks to the credit of Officer Preston.
Commander Pendarvis says that the charges put police on a path to heal from the loss of this star officer.
I'm glad investigators were able to catch these 4 young men, because what they did was just stupid and reckless, and this was part of a crime spree. And again, it was just to get money for a barbecue. It wasn't because they were poor. It wasn't because they was homeless living on the street. It was because they were bored and wanted to have fun. That's why they went on a crime spree. So I don't like the narrative where people actually think that individuals are out here being Aladdin, trying to feed themselves or try to feed the homeless, because that's not true. The violence is getting worse in these cities, and it's affecting the youth to a point where now they're literally going on assassination missions to kill other kids.
A teenager in Maryland is shaken up after a terrifying attack on a school bus. Happened late Monday afternoon when a bus carrying students home from an alternative middle school stopped at a stop sign. A girl got off, but 3 others rushed on board. The bus driver said she saw the suspects try to shoot the boy in the head. Investigators say at that point, one of the suspects then pointed a gun at the boy's chest and pulled the trigger, but the gun jammed.
This was an attempted murder. Plain and simple. Let's call it what it is. Pulled the trigger 3 times, but for some reason, by the grace of God, the gun didn't go off, and bullets flew out of the gun.
The bus union president says the driver is terrified to return to work. She's afraid the suspects will remember the bus number and try to retaliate against her. There are no arrests at this point in the case.
Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Do you think poverty causes crime or crime causes poverty? I'm inclined to believe the latter, because I can see just in today's news cycle where businesses are leaving these major cities, especially these cities that had to deal with the Summer of Love from Antifa and Black Lives Matter, where they're closing down businesses and moving out the state, and people are losing jobs just because people were setting buildings on fire. I'm kind of thinking that if you commit crimes, jobs don't want to be there. And if jobs aren't there, you can't make any money. So, you start getting poor. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another installment of the TJ Evans Show. Y'all remember to do the YouTube and Rumble thing. Subscribe to the Royal Family Studios page, and also check out my book on Amazon, The Diary of Marvin DeWayne. Y'all don't take my word for gold. Y'all do your own research. Y'all stay safe, stay prayed up. Peace.